Silver just crashed 45% in less than 2 months. Everyone is screaming that the silver bull market is over. Is it? Well, US Congress just passed emergency legislation to help save COMEX's silver stores. So if they need saving, the answer to is the bull run over might be no. I'm going to break this down in 5 minutes for you. First, we're going to look at how the COMEX stress index just hit a terrifying 84 out of 100. Well, it's terrifying for them. It's great for us. Then we're going to look at how Congress quietly introduced the Silver Act just a few days ago, and that's an important act. We need to talk about that. My name's Nick. I've been a professional investor and unprofessional trader for 24 years. Before I start, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not an inducement to buy or sell any assets, and most importantly, do not take financial advice from some random dude on YouTube. I'll slow down now, don't worry. So let's figure this out together. Right now, everyone is saying that the silver bull run is over. They have a bunch of different reasons, blah, 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 blah. We all know the reasons. But the cynical observer would say that these reasons are designed to panic retail traders because Wall Street loves it when retail panic sells. It sets up the perfect trap for them. The reality is that the physical plumbing, let's call it, of the precious metal market is severely stressed right now. While everyone is focused on price crashing to $61, the COMEX stress index just quietly hit 84 out of 100, which is nearly an all-time high. And what is this index? This tool measures how much stress COMEX is under right now. And they are under stress because there are 7.3 times paper claims for every single ounce of silver. So there's 7.3 times more claims for the amount of silver that they have, right? Physical metal is becoming so scarce that the cost to borrow it has absolutely exploded. Silver lease rates just surged from their historical average of 0.4% all the way, get this, all the way up to 8%. That's 20x. So when institutions are willing to pay an 8% premium just to borrow physical silver because they need it that desperately, it means that there's an acute shortage in the system. But maybe this is just, isolated liquidity issues right now. Not really, because this ties directly into a piece of legislation that nobody's talking about. It just passed a few days ago. Congress introduced a new bill called the Silver Act. This bill mandates the geographic diversification of exchange-approved precious metal vaults. Basically, COMEX, all their vaults are in New York. Now their vaults can be all over America, right? So right now, every single approved vault in America sits within that 150-mile radius of New York City. This bill requires the CFTC to establish at least 2 approved depositories in each of the 4 US time zones, so basically all over the US. Now the sponsors claim this is just a supply chain resilience issue, protecting against extreme weather, terrorist attacks, all that kind of stuff. But the timing is kind of suspicious, allegedly. The cynical observer would say that the government is quietly acknowledging that the physical delivery system is choking under unprecedented demand. They are desperately trying to expand the vaulting infrastructure because the New York delivery ecosystem is very brittle. And while retail investors are distracted by the crashing price, the crashing paper price, by the way, the physical market is telling a completely different story. First, JPMorgan has become one of the biggest physical silver holders in history, as far as banks go anyway. I mean, nation states probably hold more. And so they are loading up massive amounts. Second, COMEX vaults are emptying and silver is now flowing to China, right? Because people are taking COMEX out of silver out of COMEX vaults because you can get anywhere between an $8 to $12 premium if you send it to China. And third, industrial demand for silver is skyrocketing because of AI, solar panels, and electric vehicles. We are currently in the 6th consecutive year of structural silver supply deficit. Look, these manufacturers have to buy silver regardless of what the paper price says because they need it to make solar panels, to make electric vehicles, etc. And China just imported 790 tons of silver in the first 2 months of 2026, hitting an 8-year high. And this is primarily to service their solar panel industry. So while retail investors are dumping their paper contracts at a massive loss, institutions are scooping up the real metal. So much so that the US Congress had to pass this emergency legislation. COMEX is under more stress than they've been in a very long time, possibly ever. On March 19th, the CME's own house account absorbed 82% of silver deliveries. Now, what does that mean? Basically, this means that COMEX bought up a ton of silver. And we can't know exactly why, but if you were running low and price just crashed to $65, maybe that's the perfect time to replenish your supplies of silver because, you're running low and now it's cheap. Which is why some would argue that they're perfectly happy to let the paper price crash, the shakeout the weekends. It allows them to secure the underlying physical metal themselves before the system breaks, allegedly. So basically what I'm saying here is they allegedly crash price, then they buy up physical metal, they replenish the metal in their vaults, and, it works out well for them, right? I did a deep dive on silver yesterday on a video on my main channel. Go check it out. It's on your screen right now. I'll see you in the next one.